This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we're taking a look at Legendary's Monsterverse franchise as we discuss what works, what doesn't work, and what they should do next. Plus, trailer reactions for Sinners, The Last of Us Season 2, and the John Wick spinoff, Ballerina, Lionsgate and James Cameron embracing generative AI in movie making, and more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, September 30th, 2024.
Oh, hi, I didn't hear you come in. This is Ross Marquand from The Walking Dead, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. Now, if somebody could please explain to me what a geek boner is, my life would be complete. Until then, rock on, nation.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Jock it, we heard it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we heard it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah.
That's right. What's up, listener? Thank you for pressing play, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero, TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
Joining us is our very own Kaiju Whisperer. You need your Kaiju trained, you call him. Goes by the name of Rugzilla. What's up, Rugs?
Yeah, you got to catch them all like the Pokemon.
You got to catch them all. You got a little choke collar, a little positive reinforcement with some.
You train them to fight each other.
Yeah, you
just like Pokemon.
Need a lot of treats. Get them to sit, stay, roll over.
Shoot lightning out of their asshole. It's all fun.
On command.
Yeah.
Shimu, blow. I don't know. I don't know what the commands are.
Oh, no.
That's the wrong command. I was in the way.
All right, we just got demonetized.
Oh, well.
Damn it, Imran.
There's your naughty joke for the opening. Anyways, listener, exciting show. We got kind of a new segment we're going to debut in the second half of the main content. We're not sure what we're going to call it yet. Maybe you can help us come up with a name. But before that, we're going to warm up with some geek news and some trailers. Here we go.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
Now, you got to loosen up. You can't just like jump into these things. It's like some sort of athletic game. You got to warm up your voice.
You got to stretch the butt.
Some sort of athletic game, warm up your voice.
Yes, I'm mixing metaphors. Then I started thinking about
is this like an esports thing that you're going
you
for?
got to flex your thumbs and stretch your finger. Let me pop my knuckles, crack my knuckles a little bit. But we're going to warm up with some trailer reactions. This first one, kind of an exciting trailer from an exciting pair of creators. Ryan Coogler, writing and directing, starring Michael B. Jordan already.
Oh, shit.
I'm there. You don't even got to tell me what it is. The movie is called Sinners, and they just put out their first trailer. It isn't coming out until next year, May or March. Now, I had heard things about this movie before, leading up to this trailer, but what I heard about isn't really in the trailer. So, I don't want to spoil anything yet. Anthony, did you get a look at this trailer?
I did.
It has it has a wonderful mood. It has Michael B. Jordan playing twin brothers. What did you think? And what do you think this movie is about based on this trailer?
Seemed to me like a M. Night Shyamalan or a Key and Peele type horror movie.
Yeah, horror vibes.
That's what I was getting. Horror vibes, and that people are trapped in basically there's crazy shit happening outside and you gotta stay indoors. That was the vibe I was getting.
Oh.
But I know nothing about this movie, so.
Yeah, I mean, we see, what do you see? You see Michael B. Jordan with some guns. There's fire. There's menacing zombie-like creatures. Rugs, what'd you think of the tone and the look of this, and what do you think it's about?
I had no idea what this was about. The tone, it was eerie. It feels like it could go in the horror direction. I also thought that the Klan could be showing up or something.
Yes,
it is. It looks like a period piece about that time.
Yes.
And that there's some of that being telegraphed there. But I don't know. Like, is it a horror movie or is it maybe it's both? Maybe it's a both movie. Maybe they're like, maybe the Klan is really like some fucking monsters or shit. I don't know. They're really like evil demons or something.
Yeah, they keep mentioning. He talks about I had never seen a demon before until now.
They say they're white devils.
Yeah,
So,
and it's interesting you picked up on a vibe of the Klan in this. So the synopsis says, trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. Now, this is out there in the internet. I'm going to hit the spoiler button in case maybe this is a big plot that they're trying to keep under wraps.
Spoiler alert.
But I heard for a long time that this was going to be Ryan Coogler's vampire movie. Set in Jim Crow era South, the 20s, dealing with the Klan and black vampires, possibly? I'm not sure.
No, vampires are not going to
No?
No, the bad people are going to be white.
The vampires are the Klan, or are the Klan zombies, and then Michael B. Jordan's a vampire? I don't know. What's interesting that I read reading about in this cast is Delroy Lindo, as well as you see Haley Steinfeld, Jack O'Connell. But Delroy Lindo was in Blade, and that took so long he got poached by Coogler to be in this movie. So I think it's kind of, if it is a vampire movie, I think it's hilarious that he's going to beat Marvel to a Blade movie with this vampire. What do you think? I kind of want to see them fight the Klan, but yeah. But are the Klan actual demons?
Yes.
They got to be demons.
That seems like the twist that would be the twist.
Yeah, I fuck with that, as the kids would say. I think you have to go into this movie and think it's one thing and then it's something else. So if they go in and play it up as if the Klan is this, dangerous thing that's hunting them, and then you realize what they were referencing was never the Klan, it was referencing these vampires or whatever, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, whether Michael B. Jordan himself is the vampire or becomes one, or he's fighting them, I don't know. This could go anywhere, and it's kind of different
for Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
Too. We've never seen him play in a thriller. At the very least, this is some sort of period piece thriller.
Absolutely,
it could be a horror movie.
Yeah.
And we've never seen him do that. We've seen him. Fruitvale Station's a very serious
drama.
Indie film. Yeah, drama.
You got Creed.
Creed is a sports drama.
Yeah.
Then you have Black Panther, which is a superhero action drama, and then the sequel. So we've never seen him flex over here, so that'd be interesting.
I like that he's reaching out to horror thriller. Clearly, like, they're very popular right now, right? And Jordan Peele has also proved that horror movies are popular. So it makes sense. It looks dope. I'm kind of excited. It's not coming out for a while though.
When's it coming out?
March 7th next year, 2025. In March. Listener, let us know what you think. Are you excited for Coogler, Jordan, Sinners, possible vampires? I don't know. Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. Jock and Nerd. It's a closed, exclusive group just for our listeners. We're all in there. Lots of fun stuff going on all the time. Join it today. All right, let's move on to another trailer that got released, and it is for Season 2 of The Last of Us on Max, HBO Max, or Max, whatever it's called. We all love the first season. Fantastic television. This trailer looks even bigger than the first season. I like seeing the winter setting. Lots of new faces. Bruggs, I'm going to start with you this time. Have you played the second Last of Us?
No.
Okay, me neither. And I don't know what the story is. I'm not going to watch it like I did with the first season because I think they're taking their time with the second season. But what do you think of some of the new cast you see here?
Well, I recognize Isabella Merced.
Yes, as Dina.
And that's about it.
Caitlin Dever is that character Abby, which I guess is a big character in the second game.
Right.
Danny Ramirez is also in here. And some other people.
Ghost Rider's in there.
Gabriel Luna is returning as Joel's brother. And Catherine O'Hara. We just saw.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Delia Deetz.
Beetlejuice.
What'd you think of the trailer? Are you in? Is it, it's a good show.
Oh, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
They're not really showing you too much. They're just kind of teasing moments. There is a sense that something big's going to happen. So it's doing this preliminary. It's a tease. It's not really giving you any real meat. It's giving you just a little bit. So it's still intriguing. I'm still into the show. I can't believe it's been so long since I've seen an episode of this.
Yeah, when did the season end? Probably 2 years ago. These things are taking 2 years.
Yeah, it's way too long. But the writer's strike and all that stuff. So,
Anthony, what'd you think of this winter setting? Bigger scale, more people?
Yeah, I mean, it's first off, Last of Us season 1 ended in March of 2023.
Holy shit! Okay, so yeah, good 2 years.
Yep.
This isn't coming back until next year. Also, 2025.
No, not until 2025.
Yeah.
So, and there's a dog barking in the background. Yeah. Just have to ignore that. We edit that out in post.
Yeah.
Is that whose dog is that?
So it's not. It's little Logan. Yeah.
Well, Last of Us season 2. The trailer, first off, I thought was appropriately bleak and dreary and like ominous.
Yeah.
It's a good. It's a well cut trailer. I haven't played the game, but I do know what happens in the game. And if they do that in season 2,
yeah,
I'll just say this: the second game was very controversial.
Yeah,
and they did a lot of shit in that game that some people really liked, some people really didn't. So I would recommend, if you haven't played or watched read the synopsis of the game or read the plot, to not do that.
Yeah,
don't read it because there are some legitimate surprises if they follow that.
Yeah, I mean,
it looks like they're gonna do.
Yeah,
but yeah, unless they like add some more meat and play it out a little more, people might be really mad.
Oh man, I thought I heard initially that they're going to take more than one season for the second game to play out. And the first game was controversial, right? I mean, you were forced to as Joel to make a decision you necessarily didn't think was right and lie to Ellie and have to go through all this stuff.
Yeah, that pales in comparison to what the second season.
Oh shit, I can't wait.
The second game.
Yeah, I want to see that moment where he confronts her and tells her, and does she really have the cure in her? What happened?
Well, she doesn't.
She doesn't.
I don't know if she does, but yeah, it's not, well, it would have killed her. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah, and he didn't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to spoil this season 2 for me because it looks amazing. That we got to wait till next year. And then the next trailer, and this one doesn't even have a date yet, just coming soon, from Lionsgate. It's the John Wick spinoff. Is this the title? I think the title of this movie, this is the whole title, From the World of John Wick, Ballerina. It's a fucking mouthful.
Wow.
It seems to be, why can't you just call it Ballerina, a John Wick story or something? But we have Ana de Armas as the titular ballerina, seemingly kicking all sorts of ass. There's a nice surprise in this trailer. There are cast members from the John Wick movie, the late Lance Reddick, rest in peace, and Ian McShane. And, well, I'm just going to spoil it. They tease it at the end. Fucking the Baba Yaga. Keanu
Geek Boner
is in this movie in some capacity as he pops out at the end. I was like, oh, shit. So this movie takes place during John Wick 3 Parabellum, which is why Keanu's still alive. Anthony, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah.
Here's my big question. Does it look like Ana de Armas has the goods for this action heavy fight choreography movie?
She definitely has the face for it.
Yeah.
She's fucking smoking.
Yes.
I don't know. I think from what I saw in the trailer, it looks like it's close. Like, I don't think they want to fully reveal all the fight scenes, but there's a shot of her with an ice skate.
Oh yeah.
One with a bomb where she traps a guy in a vault.
She shoves the bomb in the guy's mouth, I think, and then it explodes.
Yeah, and it closes the door as it explodes.
It's great.
I think I think there's a certain level that you have to hit with John Wick, and I don't think that Ana de Armas. I don't know that they would cast her and do this if she wasn't at the same level. So I have faith in this franchise, and I think it's going to be a fun movie.
How many times do you think they're going to do that move where she climbs the guy with her legs and
the leg? They do that in every action movie with
It's like
women
ever since they did
now.
it in Black Widow that first time, like they've used it. Like
she did it in The
nonstop.
Killer, that new Killer reboot. She does the same thing, leg lock and then two guns spinning around.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind being leg locked by Ana de Armas. I'm just saying, it's all right. That's an all right move.
Does your wife watch the show, listen to the show?
No, she doesn't.
Okay.
Nobody tell her. Listen, I think she would agree. Have you seen Ana de Armas? Bruggs, I think she's bringing it. She looks like she's all in. She has the goods. She's been doing some ammunition gun training, and she looks like she's bringing it.
Right. I she's kind of like moonlighting right now. She's not. This is not what she's all about. But I feel like that she took it and ran with it. So let's see how far she goes with it. I think she looks good. The lighting looks good. The camera work looks reminiscent of John Wick.
Yeah. The colors,
the fight choreography. Yeah, all of that. The gel lighting's all there. I always think that Ana de Armas looks exactly like Eliza Dushku, and I think they should make a movie with them together.
Oh my God, she does.
She should step in at the very end of this movie and be like her twin sister.
Yeah.
Or something. And
you see Norman Reedus also in this one.
Norman Reedus is in this. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm down to see it. I hope it's neat. I hope it's like a short movie. I hope it's not like a 2.5 hour John Wick 4 extravaganza.
It was a long John Wick movie. I mean, I loved every second of it.
It got to be like an hour and 40 minutes is all you need.
Yeah, give me 90, 100 minutes. This one's directed by Len Wiseman, written by Shay Hatton and Derek Kolstad. I think
who's directing this? Len Wiseman.
Len Wiseman. Who is Len Wiseman?
Oh, he's
Underworld theme.
Yes.
Oh, that guy. Yes, he did okay, yeah.
He hasn't done a film. He's done some stuff in between, but he hasn't done a film since 2016.
Oh, geez.
No, not even that one. He produced. He hasn't done a film since 2012. Total Recall reboot.
The Total Recall reboot in 2012. He's done TV shows: Sleepy Hollow, Lucifer, Swamp Thing.
That would be the only concern I have. Is you don't have the normal John Wick guys.
Yeah, you don't have what's his name? I can't remember his name.
Chad Stahelski.
Oh, Stahelski and crew.
Right.
You have this guy Derek Kolstad, who's writing. He wrote Nobody and John Wick. He wrote the John Wick movies. Derek Kolstad. So that's promising. But we'll see. I mean,
and Stahelski is producing, so he's still somewhat involved.
And I mean, I agree with Ruggs. Like tonally, it looks like the John Wick movies with the neon lights.
The Underworld movies were decent.
Yeah.
They were decent action films. So, and they were female leads that no one gives Kate Beckinsale. In fact, she had a trilogy of fucking badass vampire hunted movies.
Did she do the leg lock move in those movies also? She probably did.
Not as many as you'd think.
Okay.
She just straight up murks people with their guns.
She's got giant hands.
She's got another movie coming out, Kate Beckinsale. She's like pushing 50 and she's like still doing it.
Is it another Underworld movie?
No, it's some direct to Amazon Prime movie, or I don't know what it's called, but it's like someone kills her husband and she has to go John Wick on everybody.
Of course, because that's what everybody's doing.
Yeah. I think it's called, God damn it, it's got a really stupid name.
Is it Canary Black?
Yes. Not Black Canary, Canary Black.
Oh, I did see this poster. This is coming out soon. Later this month, October 24th, on something, Amazon Prime. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Canary Black. Oh, that's Kate Beckinsale. Okay. Maybe I'll check it out. So
she's still doing it.
She can still bring it.
She got a stunt person that looks just like her.
Holding two guns on the poster. I mean, how much more badass do you need her?
Yeah.
Ray.
Are we talking about Ana de Armas?
No, Kate Beckinsale. Ray Stevenson is in this movie too. Oh.
Yeah, that's his last movie, I think.
Oh, I might check that out. But Ana de Armas, she was in The Gray Man. I've seen her do action. She seems capable of action. I think she can do it.
I feel like, I think if you practice, if you have any kind of dancing ability, you can learn a choreography.
I mean, the training Keanu went through for these John Wick movies is insane. He was very committed. If they're putting her through the same kind of regiment, that would be cool. I don't know, but
she doesn't. I'll say this about Ana de Armas in the trailers, and it's a trailer, right? But I think she moves around pretty well.
Yeah.
She looks like she's athletic.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like the girl that played the lead in Acolyte, where it was like,
right,
you need to stop moving around. You don't look like you can actually do any of this.
All stiff and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah, you need like a stunt woman that knows what to do. I remember when, speaking of Canary Black Canary, Katie Lotz on Arrow,
right?
She was really good at fight choreography.
Yeah.
And she always, whenever there was a fight scene with her in it, she always sold. So certain people would take to it really well.
That's true.
So, and I think she was a stunt woman too.
Well, I think the big thing too about this is where you really need to pull it off is you need to do a lot of your own stunts.
Right.
Keanu was doing all that shit.
Yes.
Anna's not doing that, and we're doing quick cuts, and we're going and and we're getting a stunt woman, and able to see that. That's going to be a disappointing thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. That was the beauty of the John Wick movies. Wide shots.
This ain't like the 80s where you could just have Arnold in there and then cut, and it'd be a guy that was 10, 20, or 50 pounds less heavy doing his moves and stuff.
That guy doesn't even have a beard. What happened? No, you're right, because you would have these wide shots in all the John Wick movies.
He's like, oh, that's Keanu.
It's Keanu doing the moves.
That's why people like that.
That's why
because no one likes the shaky cam, quick cut shit anymore.
So they need to pull that off. She needs to do her own stunts. I think she could do it. I gotta hope. I think this will be fun. Coming soon. I don't know when. So I said this is from Lionsgate. We have talked about it in the past. Lionsgate maybe struggling a little bit. Put out 3 clunkers in a row: Borderlands, The Crow, and The Killer's Game. And I'm like, how's this studio still in business? How are they making money? How are they saving money? Well, from Variety, interesting article, Lionsgate is planning on saving lots of money by using generative AI technology.
Oh, shit.
They have made a deal with this company called Runway that does generative AI video, cinematic video, and they're going to give them a portion of their movies to feed so that Runway can make an AI model, a tool for them that will help them in pre-production, post-production. So Lionsgate doesn't sound like they're going to use the AI to actually generate film stock they use in movies. They're going to, this is what I think how they're going to save money. They're going to let go all of their storyboard artists and animatic previs guys and have the AI handle it and then maybe use it to augment some of the work. This was bound to happen.
We told everybody this is going to happen.
As much as the unions and artists are banning against this new AI art, it is time saving, cost cutting things they can use, and I think it's crazy that Lionsgate is just jumping in bed with Runway there. Anthony, do you see a slippery slope with this, or was this inevitable?
AI?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's inevitable. AI is here to stay, so you got to figure out how to work with it, but you also got to figure out, they're going to figure out the rules to this. All of this stuff is going to be debated and bandied about and figured out, and things are going to change, and then they're going to be like, oh, that's too fucked up, we can't do that. Like a bunch of shit's going to happen. This stuff ain't over.
No, this is just the beginning. Where they're going to work out.
We're literally the first ending of all this.
They're going to work out the bugs. Lionsgate says, quote, in this article, we do a lot of action movies, so we blow a lot of things up, and that's one of the things Runway does. Ruggs, could we see like an AI John Wick movie in the future? And would you know? Would you care?
I think that initially, remember when like computer graphics first came out?
Yes.
It was so new and so shiny that we were like, oh my God, everything has to be CG. And now that we've seen CG to the nth degree, we're like, let's go back to practical effects.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same thing. So initially it's going to be, holy shit, did you see what they could do with AI?
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so great. But after everybody starts doing it, it's going to all feel the same. And it's not going to feel like there's any artistry to it, or there's going to be like different levels of what AI can do. And then you're going to need like a lot of money, or like the best software that's behind this huge paywall that costs billions of dollars, like architecture, the infrastructure of it, and to make it look really good. And then those movies will look great, but then all the other ones will look like hot garbage. And then eventually people are just going to go back to filming shit themselves.
So,
but I also think that AI is going to be so ubiquitous that it's going to be on your phone, and you're going to be able to like shoot like somebody and then like completely map another character over them and put them in a different background and do all this crazy shit. And then, I don't know, I think if you don't think that the entire art form is going to change so drastically that it'll be unrecognizable, you're in for it, because there's so much money tied up in this. So much money is tied up in movies. It's like the main form of entertainment. It's a huge money maker, and this whole house of cards is about to collapse. And all these assholes, these studio guys that think that they're, I'm going to make a great quarter because I'm going to bring costs down by doing AI.
Right.
They're going to do that. And then they're going to see that like literally everybody, any jerk off with a cell phone can make a movie.
I mean,
and they're going to be like, oh, we're out of business now. Just like, YouTube is like, people stop watching TV and only old people watch TV now. Like, and people all watch YouTube or TikTok now. And that's the main form of entertainment. Only like just us old people watch entertainment that's out there.
That is why CBS has like the highest network ratings of any network, because it's just the last thing old people are watching, I think.
Right.
Is they just have it on CBS.
So, I mean, we're basically in the sunset of entertainment as we know it.
Well, it's going to go through, like you guys said, it's going to go through a period where there's going to be some crazy shit and it will sort itself out. And it's not just Lionsgate. Meanwhile, the guy who warned us of AI in 1984, when he made the Terminator, James Cameron, joins the board on Stability AI, which is a much bigger AI company that's valued at like $200 billion or something. So that, it's all who is shepherding this. You give James Cameron AI tools. I'm excited to see what he does with it. We've seen what he's done already with 3D and virtual sets and complete 3D characters. So I'm trepidatious. Like, while on one hand, it does the whole nature of AI. First of all, it takes a lot of resources. It needs a lot of computers and servers. Bad for the environment, right? Whatever. Second of all, it does kind of steal from anything that you feed into it that it could get to. But on the other side, you're going to see shit that you've never seen before, and you're going to be able to get to a place quicker than you would have been able to in the past. So I'm fascinated.
I use AI at my job.
Sure. And how do you use it?
In terms of like, I can write stuff and just put down my notes, and it can synthesize what my notes are and write it in a way that's clear for anyone to read. I can like ask it to, respond to like certain emails in a specific tone, or like there's also like all sorts of different prompts you can use to like write in certain ways and all that stuff. So, obviously AI is a little bit it's not going to be one-to-one with movies, but there are positives to AI. Like, it's not the entire like, oh my God, what is happening? This is so lazy. It makes me work a little bit more efficiently.
Well, that's the thing though. If you look at the big picture, right? If AI is doing all these jobs, what are all these other people doing? Right. So like now when you had need 300 people to make a movie, now you only need 30.
Yeah.
Like now all these people are out of work, and what the fuck are they going to do? So I guess it's part of progress, but it also, you're going to have less people that are actually going to be, think about it. Like, the whole dream of being an artist or a writer is like, hey, there's jobs out there for me. I could one day become the writer of a series or a writer of a book, whatever. And if those jobs are no longer there, you're not going to go into that profession. There's like, it's a desert.
Well, no, the job now is going to be, every industry is going to be looking for people that can integrate AI into that industry.
Right. That's a whole, but
that's the jobs. That's what the jobs are going to be.
The idea is, in order to write good prompts, like, there's two schools of thought here. I don't know, we're going this AI thing, but like, there's the school of thought is, how to program the computer, or how to prompt the computer to get what you want.
Right.
But then there's a second set of skills that you need, is like, you need to actually know what things are.
Right.
So you can make sure that they're right. So let's say I want to make this guy wearing World War II, but you have to know what World War II shit looks like.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you don't know, like, it could be spitting out whatever. You have no idea how accurate it is. So you're going to need to know both set of skills. You're going to need to be a good prompter, and you're going to need to be like basically a art history fact checker.
Not only adept at our history, but if you're generating images or video,
quality controller,
you need to know what the shots are called. You need to know what lenses you want to replicate. You need to know what the composition of the shot is. You can call out the actual film. You still need to know all these technical things you can feed into the prompt to get what you want. It's essentially like on the visual side, everybody has to become an art director and learn how to write out what they're looking for. And the more detailed and specific you can get, the better you're going to be at these jobs. That's where the jobs are.
Well, eventually you're going to have folders, and you're just going to be like, okay, I need this is my World War II folder. Yeah. This is my this folder. And you're just going to spit them, and you just got to tell your Jarvis to go into folder 25 World War II and pull out all of the artillery from that era. So
I don't know. It's not going anywhere.
You have to curate it, because AI makes lots of mistakes. It does. It makes a lot of mistakes. So,
did you see? Speaking of mistakes, you know how the images come up with 6 fingers and stuff. Did you see the whole hullabaloo about that Thunderbolts poster?
Yeah, it's terrible.
That happened. So if you look up the Thunderbolts poster,
Bob has 6 fingers.
No, he doesn't. People can't fucking count. They're accusing Marvel of using AI to create this poster because of the way Lewis Pullman Sentry Bob on the lower left-hand side, because of the way his hand is cropped, right? Mm-hmm. It looks like he has 6 fingers, and everyone, because if you count the tips and if you count the posts coming out of the palm, that's 4 fingertips, 4 posts. That's 5 fingers. There's no 6, but people think they saw 6 fingers and they were like, "Oh, Marvel's using AI to make this." They're not. The Photoshop is all right, and there's Sons of Anarchy as a poster like this. It's a style of like Baroque, whatever. A lot of people have done posters of everybody shoved.
This is actually a better I like the poster.
The poster, I kind of like.
Is a better. This is a much better poster than what you were getting from Marvel 5-6 years ago, where it would just be bad Photoshop of every character.
Yeah,
in the background.
It's kind of interesting. It's kind of telling a story and showing you personalities. And it's a nice jumble. Everyone's kind of interlocked to everybody else. So you got to follow their arms. Like, I thought it was great. They did not use the eye. He does not have 6 fingers. Count them again.
I have to look at it again.
Well, that doesn't mean they didn't use AI. It's just if the AI was right, you got it right.
Yeah, there's no way they're using AI and leaving in 6 fingers if they are using it. But it's just the way it's cropped. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. Careful who you assemble.
That dress is black, Imran.
Is it? Is it what? What color
was that? It's blue or black?
Yeah. What was? Remember the audio one? That was like, what was it?
Oh my god, that was a trippy one.
Yodel, or something. I forgot what the fuck it was.
It was 2 completely different words.
Right, but then if you were thinking of the one word, it sounded like that. And you think of the other word, I was like, how is this possible? Brains are weird, and he does not have 6 fingers. Anyways, let's take a break here, everybody. I'm going to play some promos. We're going to come back and try to fix a franchise right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What's up? This is Brian, and I'm the host of Citizens of Pawnee, a Parks and Recreation podcast. That's right, a podcast dedicated to my favorite TV show, Parks and Rec. Every week I discuss my favorite things about the show, which include character breakdowns, episode rewatches, and other random facts and tidbits about the show. You can find me on Instagram at Citizens of Pawnee Podcast and listen wherever you get your podcast now. You will literally love it.
I'm Imran.
And I'm Sophia.
I'm the brother.
And I'm the sister. And we are watching a show about cousins.
We're your hosts for Dance of Joy, a Perfect Strangers rewatch podcast.
We grew up watching the 80s hit sitcom, and now we'd like you to join us every week as we rediscover our love for our favorite TV cousins, Balky and Larry.
You can find our show at danceofjoypod.com and on all major podcast platforms. Now we are so happy, Sophia. We do the Dance of Joy.
Imran, this is a podcast. They can't see us.
Oh, Popo.
Jock and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy this podcast, it's a great time to join our fan club over on Patreon. Just visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Jock and Nerd. And you can give back on a monthly or annual basis and get stuff that you have access to an exclusive podcast feed where we put up bonus content. The shows come out early. Instant movie reactions. We'll have some next week. This week, 4 little mini at-home reviews posted by myself and Ruggs.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, for lots of bonus content. It's a great time to join.
To be alive.
It's a great time to be alive. Because we're just watching random things and reviewing them and throwing them up there as always.
Trying to give you more content, people.
Yes, only on the Patreon. And you could also join us for our monthly Discord hangout. These are lots of fun. We jump on Discord. We geek out. I get to know you guys. You can ask us anything you want. This month's Discord will be Thursday, October 17th. Put it in your calendars, 8 p.m. Central Time. And there's a tier where you can pick a movie for us to watch and review, get a t-shirt. Lots of fun stuff. We appreciate the support. It all goes back into keeping this show running. And we appreciate the continued support from all our Patreon members. You guys are great. You're producers of the show. Couldn't do this without you. Check it out, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Okay, time for the big deal. We got a little new segment here. Segment suggested by Rug Boy. We're tentatively calling Fixing the Monsterverse.
Oh, shit.
Well, fixing the, and then you throw in.
Fixing the
segment
series.
is always going to be fixing the Monsterverse.
We're trying to think of like a creative title other than Fixing the
series, Monsterverse edition.
We had ideas like movie Rehab and this and that, but if you guys have a cool idea, like let us know.
Cinema Rehab, or what'd you say, Anthony? Rehab RX,
Rehab,
Movie RX,
yeah, Movie RX or something like that. So we got to workshop this a little bit. It's like when we came out with What the Fuck Happened.
Yes, it wasn't called What the Fuck Happened.
It wasn't called that initially. So
this is the Fixing series, whatever. But for this first pilot episode, we are
for this pilot episode. We have a plumber coming in, and his butt crack is clearly showing every time he bends over to look underneath the sink. That should be the logo for the show.
Yes, and he's
just an ass crack.
Yeah, just an ass crack, and a dude bending over under his sink.
This dude is undoing the pipes that head to Legendary's Monsterverse. You may know it. It's been going for 10 years now.
How about taking a crack?
Oh, taking a movie crack? Taking a crack. That's definitely going on the image for this episode is a plumber's ass crack underneath Godzilla is what it's going to be. Get ready for that. So, what do we talk about? Monsterverse consists of 5 movies, 2 TV shows, all right? The movies we are talking about are Godzilla from 2014, Kong Skull Island 2017, Godzilla King of the Monsters from 2019, Godzilla vs. Kong from 2020, and then Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire from just this year, 2024. And then we are including Monarch, Legacy of Monsters from 2023, Apple TV Plus series, and the Netflix animated show Skull Island. These are all canon, I believe. Now, I made a little chart here, and what's funny is if you look at the numbers, if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes critics and audience scores, you notice something. As these movies went on, the critic scores kept going down. The audience scores, however, kept going up. And as far as the monies are concerned, similar things happened. The opening weekends and domestic takes kind of went down until 2020's Godzilla vs. Kong, and then kind of popped back up with Godzilla X Kong. But these 5 films, internationally, worldwide, have made a total of $2.5 billion. So this is a legit
multi-billion
franchise. Monarch also pretty good Rotten Tomato scores, and Skull Island also good Rotten Tomato scores, both in the 80s. So what does this tell us, Ruggs? What can we base off this evidence? Where do you want to start?
Well, let's just overview it. Is like the Monsterverse is like an accidental franchise, right? They went into it with King Kong and Godzilla like being under the same umbrella, which is Legendary, and this kind of culminated into, hey, let's put them in the movie together. And then that's when everybody showed up, right? I mean, it was during the pandemic, but this is when the most eyeballs went to it. And it started to really, because I think King of the Monsters came out as the 3rd movie and it was like the lowest point in the franchise.
Yes.
So I think Godzilla and Kong both now being in combining the universes, getting them all under one umbrella together, seem to seal the deal. All right. But the problem is that as the movies did that, they also got wackier and wackier. Like the tones shift drastically, and people, we don't know exactly what to congratulate there. Is it the fact that Godzilla and Kong are in the same movie? Or is it the fact that the movies got more weird and crazy and ridiculous? So it's a big conundrum. Like, are they, now that people are watching, should people expect this, or are they going to be kind of pressed to go in that direction and make more batshit, like popcorn movies that are like unrealistic? Or could they capitalize on this? Now that they have people's attention and all these kids are now into this franchise, are they going to want more? Are they going to want better movies? Are they going to expect them to, like, are they going to see all the flaws that we see here? And are they going to address them maybe? So that's what we're talking about here. Are we going to try? We're going to try and actually look at this franchise and go, well, what should they do? And maybe figure out what they did wrong, or how do we boil this down, guys? Like, what do you think? Like, what do you think? I mean, they've gotten success from doing crazy shit. Or is it the fact that Godzilla and Kong are in the same movie together?
Well, a couple things to note. I was just looking up while you were talking about the success it's had. The Godzilla versus Kong, when that came out, Deadline released an article that was talking about ratings on HBO Max, and it was saying 64% of the people that watched the movie were men. Over half, 52% of them were under 25 years old.
Oh.
So they were definitely with this kind of shift of putting the two monsters together, but also this wacky tone. It definitely appealed to a very young audience. So I think that's something also to consider here. Is the younger audience is definitely vibing with this.
Now, do you think that as they're aging, they're going to want to continue that vibe?
I think as anyone ages, you go through things, right, that you like, then you kind of grow out of. So I think they will. I don't want to get into my thoughts just yet, but I do think there's some truth to, like, hey, that's going to have to evolve with the audience that it has.
That's interesting because, the whole franchise starts with this kind of serious, gritty, down-to-earth movie that a lot of people liked, but then they lost a lot of people. And now that they see the younger audience is on board, they're going, with Godzilla X Kong is goddamn near cartoon movie. There, you see the returns, you see the money. It's going to be hard for them not to keep going in that direction, but you can't keep going in that direction because it gets way too silly and thin, and it needs a little bit more thoughtfulness. I think this is a good spot to kind of slowly turn it back to a little bit how it started.
Yeah, I think the thing with 2014 was they didn't want to. They used the marketing ploy of not revealing Godzilla.
Right.
They wanted you to go into the theater because that really worked with the Roland Emmerich movie in 1998.
Oh, right.
Where they hit it and people went to go see it, and it did really good box office for the first week. It opened really well, so they wanted to kind of repeat that whole thing. And Jurassic Park did the same thing. A lot of these things were like, you'll see it in the theater, you'll get the reveal there, and so that idea was good, but I think what happened was he overdid it. Like he kept on cutting away from Godzilla. He kept on kind of postponing a lot of these big moments, and film felt very padded, right? Like it didn't need to be that long,
right?
Well, it also was started off strong with a really nice lead character in Bryan Cranston that you immediately invest in, and then not even halfway through the movie, he dies abruptly, and you're following another character, his son, played by
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yep, exactly. And he's not as charismatic in the role. You don't have as much personal attachment to him.
It almost becomes a different movie at that point.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're doing the whole, they're teasing out as long as possible the final battle. So that middle part of the movie really gets, I wouldn't say it's not, I still enjoy it as a Godzilla fan that in the moment, but it is tough on a rewatch to like go through that. It's not that middle part, that whole 2/3 of the movie is
it's not as
you gotta
rewatch.
you got to rewind through it. You only want to watch the final battle at that
and
point.
the final battle is great, right? What they did good is like to build up the tension, but then they do deliver the goods at the end.
It's a fun final battle.
And you get some crazy fucking Godzilla blasting right into the Muto's mouth.
So then they do Kong, and I think the Kong Skull Island movie is just as good, or if not even better, than the Godzilla movie.
I
because
agree.
it retains that pacing, and it doesn't try and hide Kong that much, and gives you a lot more Kong as more of a character that's throughout the film. And we already know who King Kong is. You know, it's an American icon, so we know you don't have to hide it as much. So that little game isn't going on as much, and I feel like just the general movie making of that, like, they had good actors, they were acting pretty good. Nobody was a ridiculous character. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson was a little crazy, but
and then you had John C. Reilly being a little goofy. There was, some goofy.
But it had still had a serious tone to it. It still felt like it had stakes.
Don't they introduce Monarch in that movie? Right? Is that the first, or was it in the first one?
It's in the first.
It
one.
is in the first one. Yeah,
but it's the first time you ever see Monarch associated with Kong,
right? In the past.
Yeah, that movie. I mean, that movie still has its flaws. I don't think the leads are very good. Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson are pretty. No one knows who their character is. I mean, you couldn't tell me one character trait about either of them.
Generic. It's just generic.
Pretty generic leads.
Yeah.
But you do remember John C. Reilly and Sam
Jackson's great.
Jackson and what's his name? Goodman.
Oh yeah. John Goodman as
John Goodman. So
yeah.
you have that. I think Kong's fun because it has the action all throughout, and it's Kong set in Apocalypse Now. So you have this whole Vietnam type vibe with it. So I thought it was a unique movie, and I also do enjoy. I enjoy both, but they're totally different in terms of. I mean, one's really darkly lit, the other one's super bright lit.
Yeah.
So it's tonally they're both different movies.
Then you get King of the Monsters, which should have been a home run, and for some reason, audiences did not like it.
Visually, the shots are stunning in this movie. The scale is stunning.
I think that there's too much obscuring of the monsters.
Yeah, there's always like
movie.
a storm in front of them.
Not only that, but like he tries to do this thing where he's got the humans story and the monsters at the same exact time. There's a scene where Mothra and Rodan are fighting, but you're fighting to watch them and then the other main characters in the shot at the same time.
Right.
So you got them running away. And then in the background, there's a fight going on. I'm like, no, we just want to see that going on right now. You can always just cut to that. Yeah. We don't need to see them all in the same shot all the time. And they do a lot of that, and it compromises a lot of the screen time of the kaiju. And you're waiting to see these epic battles, and there's always something pulling away from something flying into the shot, blocking it, and or heavy winds and like rain obscuring the detail of everything. So there's that, and the fact that no one liked the characters in that. Like they thought that.
See, there's a running theme here.
Well, the main problem for me with that is one, all the human characters are terrible. Yeah. Like none of them, and there's too big. Like it's too big of an ensemble cast.
Yeah.
When you're also doing an ensemble kaiju movie.
Yes.
Because I think the kaiju, they actually put a lot of thought into them. I like the thought of King Ghidorah being this ancient alien rival and being the alpha and causing storms and shit, and Rodan and Mothra, like all their different relationships and all that intermingling. But everything Rug Boy said is absolutely right. In addition to just the human cast is really unlikable, and then you keep cutting to them and you have them narrating what's on screen, and you have like 3 or 4 characters that are just what's the fucking word? Where they're just describing the plot.
Exposition dumps.
Yep,
they're bland characters that are just there to give you exposition.
And for what it's worth, I'll shout out my boy Nick Shev.
Yeah.
This is very common in Godzilla movies. I just didn't like it in this one.
It's common, but it doesn't have to be.
No.
Well, I like the music in the movie.
I do like that they remix the old Toho stuff.
Yeah, this is the best as far as including Toho stuff. This has got the most. It's got the other kaiju that they introduced that they never ever go back to ever again, except for maybe 1 or 2. I don't remember. Like they use Scylla again.
Oh,
Scylla was introduced in this film, so it gives you the idea that there's, like I said, 17 different kaiju that are there,
Right, right.
Titans or whatever they fucking want to call them.
Yeah.
I don't mind the Russell character, the guy who's like pissed at Godzilla and like he has a fucking bone to pick with him because his kid died. I think that's a right out of most of the Godzilla movies or Gamera movies. There's always a guy who's mad that somebody lost a loved one. Yeah, I just don't like how they handled him. I think that they gave him a
Kyle
good
Chandler. You mean Dr. Mark Russell?
Yeah, he knows about animals. He knows about he's a photographer. I don't know animals. He studies animals, and he knows about the orca and all that other stuff. They just didn't write his character as good as they could have. They made him into like a jerk off, and they got rid of Serizawa, who was like the linchpin of the whole thing. He had to kill himself to save Godzilla. Heroic moment. And in that same time, they blew up that awesome like temple that was there.
Oh yeah.
And now they burned that, and now they can't use that anymore.
That's the one where Serizawa sacrifices himself, right?
Yeah, he has to recharge Godzilla because he got his ass kicked from the.
That moment's awesome. But again, you have so many characters. You got Vera Farmiga as like this eco-terrorist, Millie Bobby Brown, Bradley Whitford's in this. Charles Dance is another bad guy. Ice Cube's kid is in there throwing out a couple of lines. There's just a lot of characters, and this is a trend that happens as these movies go on, but they kind of fix it in the next movie, Ruggs, don't they?
Yeah, so they go into Godzilla versus Kong. Now this is where they get Kong involved, right? So all the Toho monsters, the general audience doesn't know what the fuck they are, doesn't really bring interest, but Kong, everybody knows who Kong is, and they're like, oh, they're going to throw down. The advertising was great. When they said Godzilla and King Kong were going to fight on a boat.
Yeah.
I was like, get the fuck out of here. That's not going to happen. The boat will snap in half.
Yeah.
But they did it anyway. They did. And Adam Wingard doesn't give a fuck. He just does things that make no sense. But whatever.
But they're spectacle and they're crazy. And they introduce the Hollow Earth, right? In this one.
Yeah, and I think that's the first thing that is the way that they did it. See, if it was just a cave that went into the Hollow Earth and it was just like a pocket that no one could find, had found before, cool. But they introduced like wormholes and some kind of weird shit,
and it doesn't make sense.
And as soon as they did that, that's when it started to fall apart. Godzilla blowing a hole into the center of the Earth. Like all these weird things that are just completely impossible.
It's getting more.
I'm taking a train to Japan through the Earth. Yeah. Like all these things are just, they didn't need to go that. They went extra, and it had no bear. And then the next movie, Godzilla X Kong, just throws all kind of judgment out the window to give you a spectacle, and it was fine. I think Godzilla versus Kong was actually a better time at the movies, I think.
Yeah, I agree. No, 100%.
Yeah.
It's a tighter film. I mean, despite all the wackiness, Godzilla versus Kong delivers on the goods. You get to see them fight a couple times. You get to see them team up.
It's memorable.
Mechagodzilla, you get Mechagodzilla.
Yeah,
Godzilla
team up at the end.
We're going to throw every single paint splatter on the wall and see what happens. And we'll see if art comes out of this.
So now we're in this post Godzilla X Kong. It's performed better than any other movie in this thing, right?
Yep.
It makes the least sense out of any of them.
So it actually Kong Skull Island made like $1 million more worldwide if you add it up. But Kong Skull Island.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I got here. 568 Kong Skull Island, 567 Godzilla
Oh wow,
X Kong.
It's super tight.
Very
then.
close.
And domestically, the first Godzilla is the one that made the most money.
200 million domestic, yes.
But Godzilla X Kong, it has not too. It did well.
Yeah, it did well domestic too. It got close to that.
So this is the one that now, like until Godzilla versus Kong, that was the last, because after the King of the Monsters, they were gonna probably get rid of Godzilla. They were just like, we're already making this movie, so let's finish it.
Yeah,
right.
And then Adam Wingard, he just threw everything in the kitchen sink at you for that movie, left nothing else on the table, and you got to see what you paid for. Godzilla fight Kong. There was a winner. Kong went down, and now this other movie gets made because this guy got carte blanche, do whatever you want, and people went to see that. So now they're making another movie. Adam Wingard left.
Yes,
for whatever reason.
Grant Spatore is the next director.
So they got Grant Spatore, who did I Am Mother, which was a very good movie. Not like great, but a good Netflix movie, I guess. It had the good mechanics of a film. It had practical effects. It wasn't silly or stupid.
This is a movie. It's full of special effects. It's futuristic sci-fi. Got robots. Apparently, made it for $5 million.
Yeah, and that's a miracle.
Astonishing. So the guy knows how to spend money.
He feels like a lot like a Gareth Evans.
Yes. So it feels a lot like a return to the first Godzilla.
So I think that hire in and of itself could be a great thing. But now he must be asking himself the same thing, or he's probably moved on from this process and gotten into the movie making set.
Where are we going with this?
Where do we do? What do we do? So I think we can't really we're stuck with a few things, right? That they've already set up. We can't just throw everything away, right? So let's say that we're Grant Spatore.
Yeah.
All right. Except my beard isn't as luscious. Okay. We have to decide what we're going to do. We can't reboot it. We just have to steer it in the right direction. So we have to keep it intact to a degree. So what do we do? Let's start with what works. What do we keep, Imran?
Well, I do like how, as the movies went on, there was less human interaction and more monster interaction. I thought that was a good way to go. There needs to be a balance of that, of course.
Like a leaner cast?
Yes. I think there's too many people in these fucking movies.
So we're keeping the idea from a Godzilla X Kong to have a very small human cast.
So can I am I able to disagree?
Yes.
I disagree.
Okay.
First off, these movies are doing well, so who's to say we even needs fixing? But that'll be a discussion for another time. I actually think you go the other way and really double down on the next movie being from like a very personal perspective.
Oh yeah,
where you go in with a human, a couple, maybe like 2 or 3 humans, and you just focus on them, and then from their perspective, it folds into all the monster stuff.
No, absolutely.
I don't think you go full on, because Godzilla X Kong, for the most part, those humans are all just exposition, but they're like minimal. They're just moving the plot along. But they're so that movie, I think, is almost too much monster.
Oh, interesting.
So I think I would cut back on the monster.
So you need a balance, but I do agree.
Well, you need to do humans well, first off.
Yes, that's the problem. Is that you need characters that are you can relate to, that you care about, and I think the way you do that is just like what you said. You strip it down to 2 or 3, one main point of view character, but you don't need fucking 17 people going on these missions.
Yeah, I think the giant casts were like it's just too many people to follow, and it just eats up screen time that's not necessary. You can really make it lean. And you don't really need like these giant casts. I think 5 people, 6 people are the main characters tops.
But
and then you got to stop
the
there.
talent, right? We had Cranston, who's an immense talent, and it showed. And then the rest of the cast, maybe not up to Cranston's level. I would like to mention Monarch, the show, despite the fact that the kids were written like fucking idiots. All the stuff in the past was great, and Wyatt and Kurt Russell's characters are fantastic. Like, I really got to know them.
Yeah.
I got to care about them. That is the level of care and thoughtfulness in characters that should be in these movies moving forward.
They had skin in the game.
Yeah.
Like, they were trying to make this thing happen. They were like the pioneers. And they were taking lots of risks. And then there was a love story developing between them. So you had a lot of things like that had stakes and that had push and pull, that had tension because she was cheating on her man.
Yeah, all that stuff in the 50s was great. That whole character arc, like I was thinking about Monarch. I was like, there's some good shit in there. There was some good drama and a little bit of monster action, but the drama in this, the lore is great. We started this whole franchise with this immense lore of Monarch and these kaijus, and they've kind of forgotten about it. Ruggs, what's a thing you would want to keep or bring back?
Well, I do like the scary tone and the scale from the first two films.
Yes.
So I think the Gareth Edwards and the Jordan Vogt Roberts, where they kind of leaned more into the horror.
Yes.
They leaned a little bit more into like the tension and less into the silly. I think that vibe, you could still have fun with it. Like Jordan Vogt Roberts had John C. Reilly in there, and and some funny stuff in there.
Yeah.
But overall, you felt like bad shit was going in the Gareth movie, like 2014. You felt like wide scale destruction, and it could have even been even better. It could have even been more like intense, but they seem to shy away from that a lot. Like -1 did not.
Right. No, I do. I think the scale and the level of destruction that we've seen is great. It just.
What about you, Anthony?
Yeah. Other things to add? You're saying?
Something you want to keep that they've been doing well.
Something that I want to keep. Yeah. Oh, okay. I do. I'll say this. This is just as a compliment. For the most part, I've enjoyed the monster designs.
Yeah.
For the most part. Now, I think I like them more for the ones that are legacy characters.
Yeah.
So the ones that they've made that are like original creations.
Yeah.
The only one I really liked, I really thought was a unique one, was the Mudo.
Uh-huh.
Everything else has been
Okay.
But on that note, I would love to see them see their takes on other kaiju from other Godzilla films.
So like legacy kaiju from Toho.
Yeah, I would love to see more legacy kaiju. Now, I don't know that that's going to have the most appeal, but if you want to go, if they want to lean into batshit crazy, fucking bring in Gigan. Fucking bring in Megalon.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, bring in these fucking batshit crazy characters if that's the route you want to go. And I'm not suggesting they should do that. But if they, let's say they even go a more serious route, bring in a space Godzilla, bring in a Biollante. And you can easily do a human piece where Monarch's out in space, you've got a family, and they're wrecked up by space Godzilla.
Or a Destroyer. I would love to see kind of a Destroyer.
Oh, yeah, Destroyer. Like those are... So there's two ways you can do this, but I love for the most part. The only animal or the only kaiju I didn't like the redesign of was Mothra. Everyone else I've liked.
Oh, really? You didn't like the Mothra?
Yeah.
Which one? Both of them?
Wait, both of them. What are you talking about?
It's like she gets reborn in the last movie.
Yeah, it's the same fucking design.
I guess it's the same design.
But
everything else,
even like, I kind of liked that they made Mothra a little bit more battle ready, but I think they went a little too far with it. They
made her too insecty in my she's not as colorful as she is in the movies, in the other movies.
Because I would think it should be insecty. It's a big moth with these glowing wings. Like it looks cool.
She doesn't look as elegant as she does in the Toho stuff, but everyone else I've liked.
I will add, I do love the kaiju designs, and on top of that, I feel like they've given all the kaiju pretty decent personalities. If you think about it, and Kong almost steals the fucking show every time he shows up, just because he can be more expressive. But Godzilla has personalities. Ghidorah had personality, so I think the kaiju personality is working, and I would like to see more of that.
I love the King Ghidorah where the heads each all kind of argue with each other.
Yeah, that's great.
I thought that was fun.
Yeah,
there's nice touches. They do some things, some really good stuff with the characters, and I like the designs for the most part. They keep changing Godzilla, which I don't know if it's an improvement yet. I'm not sure I like the new version as much as I like the other version, but who knows? He could still keep changing. Another thing that I would probably, we have to keep, we can't do anything about it, is the setup. I don't really like Hollow Earth, but I do like the idea that these are ancient creatures.
Yeah.
They've been here since the Earth was very highly radioactive, and they've gone dormant because the radioactivity is not there, but they're still like kind of like just pulling in traces and keeping themselves alive, and that they could one of them could just pop up at any moment and reveal themselves.
Right.
That's kind of cool. So I think that's something we should keep. I like the fact that Monarch knows that there's 17, but there's possibly more. Now that with the Hollow Earth, there's, who knows, that's unexplored territory. There can be tons of them down there. and there's options for that as well. But the fact that they set up this kind of thing that Godzilla's ancient, all of these kaiju are ancient, and the nuclear test, they tried to kill him. It just made him stronger and bigger.
Yeah.
And, he doesn't have the allegory of like -1 and the original 1954, which would be better. But I think as it stands for a world building, it's fine. It's not ideal, but it works enough. Now let's talk about like what's broken. Does anybody have anything else they want to keep? Any characters you want to keep?
No.
I mean, if you could bring Bryan Cranston,
you want Gia still in there? You don't care about Gia.
I mean,
no, I don't care about Gia.
That Iwi tribe, that and their history is kind of interesting, but Hollow Earth really just messes things up because they don't explain it, and it's like, how does this even work? But I think
let's talk about what's broken now.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, that's I'll Imran said it. I'll say it.
Yeah.
You might even. Hollow Earth is broken.
Hollow Earth is broken.
Do whatever you can to just not. I would not even acknowledge Hollow Earth moving forward.
I have an idea, and I'll talk about it a bit later about how we can do that. But that's my biggest thing is I feel like that as soon as they put that Hollow Earth with these wormholes, like Hollow Earth being a cave, and you go into a cave and you find a pocket of Earth that was undiscovered. And that's more radioactive because it's closer to the core. It's radiating energy.
That's fine.
Not this with the Axis Mundi. I fucking hate the
Axis Mundi and the gravity.
I'm against the Mundi. I'm anti-Mundi.
Let's get out of the Mundi. And then Monarch introduces another level of the Mundi. Even the Mundi was better than Hollow Earth because there wasn't like upside down mountains.
And then the tribe living in Hollow Earth and the ancient calls.
It's too many leaps of logic there to be like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of are stuck with it in a way now, but you have to figure out how to use it better.
Every time I'm like, where's the fucking sunlight coming from? Can somebody explain this? Just give me a stupid explanation. I don't care.
Well, this is something that's been the journey to the center of the earth. Yeah. There's like all of these old 1950s things about going to the Hollow Earth. So it's like it's pulling up all that old bullshit, like all those tropes.
But it should be like you're in a cave surrounded by rock underground.
But they never had like space warps in there.
Yeah,
like
these portals everywhere.
That makes it stupid. Yeah. And besides other things. But I also think one of the things they should get rid of, besides Hollow Earth or minimizing Hollow Earth, is that they should like stop with the ridiculous stuff that makes. They're gonna have to tighten up the writing. They're gonna have to try.
Yes, a lot of
like
it is
stop like just doing things, and you have to go along with it. Like we don't have an already made glove for Kong's arm.
Yeah,
I mean, you can if you're gonna do that, explain it. Like, this will go on either arm, and it just so happens I could just program it to go on this arm. And just 2 seconds of
you just
writing.
happen to have a right glove on the right arm.
Yeah, you just like let's calibrate it to fit the right hand. That one little line they could put in there. Yeah. All of a sudden you're like, so the robot you could just actually just flip the thumb around and it fits on the other hand. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Then it just takes away another level of like unbelievability. So they just need to do that little bit of stuff that would make things better. Just do the work. Like, don't just cut. I think Wingard was cutting everything out to make the movie as slim as possible. So it just kept on moving.
Yeah.
But then, like, nothing works, like, if you think about it. So they got to stop doing that. And the bad forced humor that they have in there, like, if the humor is organic to what's happening, cool. But, like, this whole thing that post-Marvel, everybody's quippy.
Yeah.
And everybody's making these stupid jokes all the time. It doesn't, it's cringeworthy every single time. You never go, oh, that was a good one. You don't. You just go, oh, that's the cringy. Why is there such cringy writing in here? So they need to stop that. Like, so, but anything else that you want to get rid of other than obviously the ridiculous tone, the forced bad humor. We talked about the Axis Mundi and all of the fucking the Hollow Earth shit.
Well,
what else?
I mean, I kind of mentioned it when I disagreed, just bad human characters. But here's something I'll pose, and maybe this is something we can debate. Should they get rid of doing a team up in the next movie?
Huh.
I think that might start getting tired.
I feel like they should.
The team up might start getting tired, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that you have to do a solo Godzilla movie.
Yes, I agree.
I think you actually. I disagree. I think you do a solo Kong movie.
Oh, you want another Kong movie?
Because he's clearly the important, like the lead, but you haven't gone back to that well in what 8 years? When did Kong Skull Island come out? 7 years?
I think all of these have been Kong movies, though.
Kind of. Kong
2017. I think what I'm getting at is the team up aspect. The team up already. While I found New Empire to be fun, I also by the end was like, how many times can you create a team up situation?
How many reasons can you come up with to have these two? I think Kong is again. He might be overshadowing Godzilla if you give him his own movie.
I think from a standpoint of you're a kid, or you're a young guy and you're trying to sell these toys, you got to throw as many fucking kaiju in there as possible.
Right.
And you just got to keep upping the ante. Now, if you can do it in a way that makes sense, I think a team up is cool. But we'll talk about that a little bit later when we talk about what should the movies be.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe not a team up, or maybe a solo movie for either one of them might be a breath of fresh air.
I would love to see. Am I jumping ahead? Should I say this now or no?
But do you want to just move on to see what should be? So, what should the next movie be, or do you want to talk about how we grow the franchise? And
both. I think what I'm going to say is both.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just throwing this out there live as I think about this. I would love to see a Kong movie where he takes on a Godzilla villain.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's like it's like Kong, but then space Godzilla shows up, and you write some sort of scenario where Godzilla got incapacitated, and it's a Kong space Godzilla.
Well, I have something like that.
Okay.
I'll throw it. It's not that exact thing, but it's something like that.
Because the Kong villains, there's nothing right home about a Kong villain. Like Kong's never had.
That's true.
Anything.
Yeah.
So you do it, but you if you pull from the Toho stuff, now you're still doing some fun where you can you can redesign the character. You have something to base it off of, so they're not drawing a mound of shit like the whatever the villains are, or whatever the things that they've drawn in the past. So that's where I'm kind of like thinking aloud is do a Kong solo movie and throw in a Toho, and then with Kong you can then pull out more human interaction too with not only him but the humans will like you can build characters that you can invest in because they'll be invested in Kong, and maybe even have the movie end with Kong losing.
Well, I think that's a good idea, like to put Kong off and especially hide Godzilla or have Godzilla be incapacitated. I think those are all good ideas. And when you do have these things that could work in solo movies, you could spin them off. Now, I have ideas, but like you would have to get to these. You have to get to certain movies to get there. So like you want to have sequels and spinoffs, you can do it. Like the idea of a Skull Island spinoff is cool, but the thing is that they got rid of all the fucking kaiju in Skull Island. Skull Island's like nobody's living there anymore. Like what's going on there?
Prequel.
We have no idea of what's going on in Skull Island, but like 3D animation, they haven't really done like a full 3D animation show like they do with Camp Cretaceous with Jurassic Park. I think that might be a cool direction to go in. Like do a 3D show. They have a bunch of them that are action based. You could do the monsters, like the Gamera cartoon was a little bit weird, but something along those lines where or the Ultraman show that they have that was that they did in 3D.
Yeah,
they have to keep at it though. They can't just. There has to be. It can't be overly adult though. I think that's the mistake that Ultraman made. Is like they did this show that little kids probably couldn't watch, so they have to find a happy medium that like Camp Cretaceous is something a kid could watch, and it's still scary. It's still got drama in it, but they could kind of go along that tone. I think that they could probably do that and get these young kids, like, because little kids love dinosaurs, little kids like adventure. You can do that in Skull Island and do all that stuff. I mean, it could be a cool, like just like a Jurassic Park. It's an island and all that other shit, weird monsters, and they're exploring it.
And you would do it as a 3D animation?
Yeah, I think that's how it would spin it off. I mean, otherwise, like we have a Monarch show, but it's not really about Monarch. It's about like people, like characters.
Yeah. And who is it really aimed at?
Right. Like I would like to have like a Monarch show like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where like you have like a team that you follow and they fucking go on missions on kaiju, not like these stories about people's pasts and a mystery.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be like almost like a procedural, like people could just jump in and watch it. And it should have an overarching story, but like it should be like, I know what they're trying to do is they're not really constant. They don't really care. Like the kaiju is an afterthought in these stories. They're just trying to spin these yarns about like a World War II romance, World War whatever romance happening. But it's okay. I didn't love the Monarch show. I think that it had a couple of good like stories. The period piece was cool, but overall it was a letdown for me. So I think a Monarch show that's more like G.I. Joe, because that's what it is now.
Oh yeah.
Like Monarch is like this advanced super military. Like they should be building fucking Jaegers now.
Wherever these
they should
things,
be building Jaguar now. They should be fucking doing all kinds of crazy shit.
I'll tell you what I did like about Monarch, though, and I'd like to see moving forward is this attention to detail and the lore behind Monarch and the world.
Wait, what attention to detail?
Well, I'm saying it needs more attention to detail. But but what I like what they did was when they were showing you like the Godzilla evacuation drills and you saw the missiles on the bridge. I like when you show me what the world is like now that these kaiju are out. What is that like? What has changed? So, and then they've set up things, they set up lore, but then they get all willy-nilly with the details. Like, you just got to sit down, someone's got to map it out. It's a little bit like taking a page from the MCU, like make sure all the details connect, and it's thoughtful.
Did you ever watch an episode of the Godzilla cartoon after the 1998?
That was a good show.
That one, I've seen.
Like they had like
one.
a team,
and
this was a small scale. It wasn't Monarch, like it wasn't like all the fucking latest weapons,
like Ghostbusters for kaiju.
But yeah, they were like a team, and they were like the head of the spear, and they fucking went and they used Godzilla to fight off a bunch of stuff, and that's for a little kid show.
Yeah,
and that still makes more sense than what we're getting sometimes. It's like they just boil it down to this thing that's very easy to digest.
Yeah, the other thing that always bugged me is, like, we talked about how I do like the level of destruction and scale, but why is it, especially in that last movie, how many fucking millions of people died? Nobody gave a shit. I feel like that should be a little bit more impactful, the fact that all this debt, these buildings are coming down, whole cities are being obliterated, and in -1, you feel it.
Yeah,
and in these
that's what
movies,
they got right.
That's what they got right. That's what it needs. It doesn't.
Well, they're trying to market to kids, and if you market to kids, you can't. That's not something you can.
You can't dwell on it, right?
No. Yeah, it's got to be fun. So I think Ruggs is though. I like the way Ruggs is thinking about it, where he's trying to market. He's trying to grow it, right? Because you got to market the kids to still grow the Monsterverse, right? And the kids get the parents to buy all the shit because. That's important, whether we like it or not.
Sure.
If you want the franchise to survive,
you need toys.
It can't be a highfalutin art thing.
No.
I mean, -1 was very successful, but
it's not selling toys.
It's not. I don't think it's making the money that any of the Godzilla movies.
Can you not cater to kids, but also be thoughtful for older audiences at the same time?
No, I think there's a happy medium there that Ruggs is probably getting at.
Yeah.
I think we can get there, and I think the Marvel movies tried to do that for a while. And and Star Wars did it for a while. And so I think that it's possible.
So how about like the fear horror vibe? How far do you want to push it? Should we be terrified when kaiju appears on screen?
I think you should. I think that I don't think there's ever going to be an R-rated Godzilla movie.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. I want to see that.
But I think that you could go pretty far on a PG-13. You could have blood splatter and stuff like that. Not a lot, but you could have a little bit of it. And there
should be a sense of awe or wonder when they come on screen.
Yes,
I think we lost that a little bit in New Empire.
Yeah.
where they got through so many kaiju on screen that you lost like when they do that shot where all the gorillas are working. There's no sense of scale anymore. There's no sense of awe. So you lose that, and they all look like just regular sized gorillas.
That's the problem with Hollow Earth, though. It's bad. It's just bad for the whole.
That should have been a huge moment. Like Kong found other apes, right? It should have been huge. And it just didn't feel that way. Although him smacking around the other apes with the little baby imp, that's the baby ape. That's the best part of that.
Well, there's funny
movie.
moments and things like that. There's spectacle and funny moments, but it doesn't add up to great writing or great world building. It's kind of like it just kind of does what it has to do to get you to have a roller coaster ride. And that's about it.
Yeah, but then you go home and you forget about it, right? It leaves you nothing really to chew on.
Yeah.
I
had a thought about growing the franchise as well, and I fucking forgot it. Damn it! All right. I hate when I have a thought and it just completely.
I'll give the thought. So here's my thought, and maybe it'll jar what you're thinking. I think if we got to work within the confines of what they're doing, so. It doesn't sound like the next movie is going to be a solo movie. So even though that's my idea, I think they're going to do another team up. I think for the very least for the team up, it's got to be treated a little bit more thoughtfully and seriously.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be scary, and it doesn't need to go back to like 2014 vibes.
Okay.
But I think there needs to be a little bit more thought into like who the human characters are. I think I would personally bring in something from space. So you have something that's like an unexpected thing where the humans can't be like, oh, this was an ancient character from
yeah.
Right? Where it's kind of this wild card thing. And then while you're doing that, you also maybe do the 3D animation where you're putting something out for kids. And then also revamping Monarch to focus less on these kids looking for their dad and more on, they ended that one with
Kong. Yeah.
So maybe that one's a little bit more, serious.
Yes.
And you have so you're doing these three things at once. So if I had to work in the confines of that, that's what I would do is I'd pivot to a little bit more serious on the show and the movie, but then still release something for kids.
Now, let me ask you another question. And okay, so you own Legendary Pictures. You got a franchise here. You're tied up with Toho with using Godzilla and all this other stuff. Do you try to introduce a new character that will one day take over the franchise? Kind of like almost like a handing it off, like a legendary, like Batman hands it off to Robin or something like that. Or we got Falcon America. We have a new Captain America.
Do like Son of Godzilla or Godzilla?
No, I don't think it could be Godzilla related
a whole
at all.
New kaiju. I am all for new kaiju. Like I kind of want to see that. Whether it's from stuff that's been in Toho that they haven't shown or just new designs. But what?
Like nothing that Toho that they have come up with at this point is cool enough for me to really be into. But I think that there's always hope if there's certain things you can do that are kind of cool and interesting that could be the next.
I think Dope Pope could come up with something.
Well,
absolutely.
I would love to see them create something that is original that we fall in love with. The thought I had as you were talking about that is I don't know I don't really know if Pacific Rim is connected, but I would love to see them bring over a Jaeger because then you have a human character in there, and now you have something that is already established, but also that is something that can interact with people.
Mm-hmm.
That could be.
I would love to see that.
So do you have any pitches for movies? I got a whole list.
What's the next movie?
Let's hear your pitches.
All right, I got like a whole bunch that I had ideas for. I just kind of like scribbled stuff down as I thought of it.
Give us your best one or two.
Yeah.
But the main idea, I have two different ways we can go. And the first idea is I got to figure out how to get rid of Hollow Earth. All right. So we've established that the Iwis are psychics, right? They have psychic powers, and Monarch knows where they are now. So they start teaming up with the Iwi and forming this kind of like then they have this crazy technology that does weird shit with gravity and all this other stuff, and they figure out like how to basically get the kaiju using their psychic powers and all that other stuff to kind of broadcast, like kind of like almost like the orca, but they're trying to get everybody into the Hollow Earth. They're trying to get all of the kaiju that are on the surface to wake up and go into the Hollow Earth and to seal it, basically to seal them down. It's there.
A trap.
Yeah. And so like basically they can all live peacefully in the Hollow Earth. Nobody has to kill them. Although animal rights activists are happy. But there is a person that's like a spy, an agent for like basically does not want this to happen because people want to have the kaiju under their control for their own purposes. There's like, there's a spy, and her name is Katsura.
Okay,
remember Katsura?
Yeah,
and Katsura's in this whole team that's working with the psychics and picking up all these things and learning how they're controlling the kaiju, and she wants to stop this. So there's a remaining like few kaiju that are still not in Hollow Earth yet, and that's Varan, Titanosaurus, Baragon, and Rodan, and Megalon. And basically they start fucking tearing shit up, and she takes control of them, and basically they're attacking Monarch bases. They're trying to rip all of Monarch bases
to stop
down.
them from trapping.
They're like, she's trying to just completely eliminate Monarch.
Oh.
And so they got to get all the kaiju now are in Hollow Earth. They can't get out.
Katsura!
They're closing off the wormholes and all that stuff, and they have nothing. So Monarch has a Jaeger named Jet Jaguar that runs completely on AI. It's self-thinking, and they dispatch it, but there's too many for him to fight off, and basically they get the team to come out and to the rescue, which is all the people from the last movie. You got Shimu, you got all the fucking, and they all basically go. There's like it's like a 5-on-5 battle royale. No, like he's dead.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's dead. You got frozen.
So all like Shimu, Kong.
Yeah.
You got Mothra, Godzilla. So it's not a Godzilla centric movie at all. It's actually about Monarch and these introducing these other new kaiju in there. And then
Apex.
Is this your take on Destroy All Monsters?
Yeah, it's basically like a giant battle royale.
I like
it. And the second movie that I have is a little bit similar to it. The same idea is that they're closing down all of the Hollow Earth. So Hollow Earth is now like not a thing. They've closed down all the portals. They figured out. They work with the Iwi with their technology to close these portals off. And the only one that's left open is the one on Skull Island.
Okay.
And Skull Island becomes Monster Island because the only place that the monsters can kind of surface is there, and Godzilla's there making sure that they don't fuck around. And so Godzilla's as like kind of like the king on Skull Island, and now it's called Monster Island, and Kong is the king down there in the fucking. And anyway, there's this rogue organization named Hades, and they're trying to reopen portals. But what happens is they open the wrong portal, and it's called the demon universe, and all of the demonic monsters come forward. This is where King Ghidorah is from, but King Ghidorah is dead. So we have other monsters like Kaiser Ghidorah, Dagara, Hedorah, and Bagan. All those fucking monsters come out, and they start fucking with everybody. And basically they got Kaiser Ghidorah. Godzilla comes to try and fight them off, and he starts fighting them off one by one. But then by the time Kaiser Ghidorah comes out, he grabs Godzilla and pulls him through the portal, and he's stuck in the demon world, and he has to fight his way out. And there's multiple sequels at different stages where they finally close that portal and kill everybody. And then after that, everything's done. Like the Hollow Earth is not a big deal anymore. You got Monster Island. You got all the fucking monsters. Godzilla can either die at the end of it, saving the world, or you can, do anything from there. But it's the demon zone. I have this part in that where Space Godzilla is born, but it's not called Space Godzilla. It's called Demon Godzilla. And it's basically like this animal that latches itself onto Godzilla and is like kind of like cloning its DNA and becoming a separate organism. but Godzilla reverses the power since he's taking the power from him. He could suck it back, and so he basically shrivels this thing up, and it falls off of him, and he becomes twice as powerful. And he has like now this demon power, and he fucking evolves to this fucking crazy, sick looking Godzilla, like kind of like Dope Hope's crazy fucking Godzilla version that looks like Shin Godzilla. I forgot what he's called, but like the badass version. And so lots of cool shit like that.
That's the one thing they haven't done is like this the evolution of Godzilla mutating into different things like they do in Toho movies.
The Godzilla mutating was more just a Shin Godzilla thing. There wasn't a ton of that throughout the Godzilla movies.
Yeah, the evolution, it was just a slow evolution, basically.
Right.
Over like 30 years, they add a little bit. He could fucking fly backwards.
Right.
He has magnetism.
But that wasn't thoughtful. That was just, what do we need Godzilla to do in this movie?
Yeah. And they just do it.
Yeah, it was never a long-term, like, oh, he's evolving throughout these movies, because he loses those powers in the next movie.
Well, we've established in this universe is that Godzilla can absorb energy, right? He goes to the nukes and sucks them up. So I feel like you have to use that power where he can, like, so if there's this monster that has demon energy and it's linked with his DNA, he could probably just pull it right back into him while he's attached to him. And now he's supercharged himself and killed this guy. And he has enough power to take on Bagan and all the other fucking, like, other ones. And by the way, while Godzilla's in this demon universe, Kong and all the other guys have to step up with Jet Jaguar and fucking fight the other guys. So there's a whole movie where like it's just Kong and fucking Jet Jaguar most of the time fighting off all these fucking other these demon monsters.
I like the idea of splitting them up. If you have to do a team up, split them up.
Right.
Have them do their own fights.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
The Demon Zone is what it's called. But yeah,
Demon Zone. Well, we haven't seen very many. We haven't seen any of your sort of like demon-esque stuff in the Godzilla franchise. So,
there was that Godzilla in Hell, and I like that. There was a series called Godzilla in Hell where he fights through hell, and like I thought it was kind of funny.
That's awesome.
But like they never really explain where King Ghidorah came from. They say it from outer space, but it's just a different universe or an alien universe, and maybe he's from a place where there is sentient beings, but like it's kind of like they're all fucking these horrible monsters. Like Hedorah is like a terrible thing, right? It's like it could change form. It can be crazy. And Dagara is a Mothra bad guy that looks pretty badass and looks demonic. So, and you can do all that stuff. I think at the end of the day, the thing that they have to do, or they could do, is they got to figure out how to close all these portals and just let Hollow Earth be Hollow Earth and not a thing that they're constantly. The science behind the Axis Mundi and all that stuff is just terrible.
Yeah.
It makes things overcomplicated. And you also lose Skull Island, which I love Skull Island.
Skull Island is very interesting.
Skull Island, it becomes like a footnote, right? Yeah. It doesn't become this major thing. And then you can kind of do that thing where Skull Island is Monster Island. It basically is. It's just called Skull Island.
You could. Do we all agree that they need to course correct a little bit, even though they're making money and the fans are liking it? That's what it sounds like to me. Is everyone is kind of in agreement that although things are going well from a financial perspective, to keep this fresh and exciting and grow it,
it's like Fast and the Furious now. It's
that's the problem.
It's now a franchise that people know, and they know what they're getting when they go there. But just because they're expecting stupid stuff doesn't mean you have to give it to them as, you could still give them thrills, but just, make it better.
Yes. Less stupid, bland characters, less characters that just are there for exposition. That's the thing is they are making money, but if you keep going in that direction, you're going to lose all sense of any kind of verisimilitude you can still hold on to. So you can still, like we've said, you should be able to balance something serious and fun and just have better written characters, have less of them, give them more backstory and development, and then the lore and the details got to come back. And Anthony, you've mentioned aliens a bunch of times, and I would like to see aliens. The one thing they haven't done that the Toho movies do, But I would like to see them do it kind of in a grounded, realistic fashion, even though it's kind of a weird thing.
You could do this thing. You could go, okay, so King Ghidorah is an alien, right?
Yeah.
Shimu had created the ice thing and sealed, I don't know if this is the way they did it in the story, but this is the way I imagine it, is that Shimu used her power to freeze King Ghidorah, and that was it.
Yeah.
But when Ghidorah was reanimated, right, and came back to life and used the call to kind of get all the kaiju following Ghidorah,
right?
Maybe there is a beacon on the dark side of the moon that picked up Ghidorah's scream, and then the aliens are like, "Oh, we sent Ghidorah to this planet to fuck it up and get it ready for us to go there, but we stopped hearing the signal. So now the signal's back. Let's all go and come down." So they're coming to Earth thinking that Ghidorah's there, but they find out that it's not, and maybe they have to figure out another plan B. They have to figure, okay, we don't have Ghidorah. We have to now either steal a kaiju, and they steal like a kaiju that like is the chicken form of Gigan.
Yeah.
And then they fuck with it, and they send it back down, and that's why you get Gigan versus whatever. And they do that with a bunch of different kaiju.
I do love in the Toho movies where the aliens like make a deal with the Earthlings, but they're so stupid and they trick them. And it's just like, suckers, we're just kidding. Now we're going to use these kaiju against you. I just want to see those cool sunglasses on one of these people. Those are great.
Well, I think you could do aliens. I mean, you have to have a reason, right?
Yeah.
I think that the Ghidorah call activating something, and then them coming because they're responding to Ghidorah's call, saying, "Oh, it's time for us to go in there." That could be the impetus for it, and you have Ghidorah as an alien being already, so you're not really building a bridge too far.
Is there any merit to doing spin-off movies of like the other kaiju? Do you think anybody would care if you do like a Mothra movie or any of the other ones to kind of set up a shared universe?
I don't know at this point yet. I think they haven't really done the work for it yet.
No, they haven't.
Like if they had Rodan in every movie, maybe you could do a Rodan movie.
Right.
Where you go with the spin-off, if you're going to do that, is do it as an animated thing.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Yeah, or on TV or something. Yeah.
Right? Like you wouldn't do a movie.
I think if they introduced Jet Jaguar as an AI giant flying robot, that could be a show. Because he's with Monarch.
Yeah.
He's part of Monarch.
Yeah.
And he's fighting fucking kaiju just like Godzilla does. Except, the only problem with that is that it's still tied to Toho. It's not a completely something that Legendary owns. But it would be, I think that the character's proven popular, right? So why wouldn't you use Jet Jaguar?
These are all good ideas. Who would you get to change this? Is there somebody out there that could be the Kevin
Guillermo
Feige?
del Toro won't do it.
Yeah.
But I need somebody like him.
Yeah.
Who is a franchise person that can see these things. I'm going to say James Cameron, but he wouldn't do it either.
No.
But somebody like that.
You're not going to get, I mean, unless it's a complete passion project, you're not getting a name to do this.
Yeah, or Peter Jackson. Somebody who knows how to do these things. Yeah. How to build it up. We're not going to get any of that top down.
But you can learn from all those guys because all those guys do it right. That's what you need is somebody to build out the world, make it thoughtful, like a Cameron or Peter Jackson would.
I would have said James Wan, but he seems to kind of do silly shit all the time.
No, James Wan is he's the new empire of DC.
Yeah,
you watch those Aquaman movies; those are wacky as fuck.
Yeah, he's way into the wacky, so I don't think we could trust him with it.
No, that would almost work, though. I can see how you could apply that, but I mean, he's good. He's built a world, but it leans into the wackiness.
You need somebody who really loves the stuff and understands the intricacies. You might just have to get the guy from who did -1. I don't know.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
But it would just be a completely different movie at that point, unless he also has a more fun side to his writing, or more
he would have
franchise type to his writing. I mean, Godzilla -1 is written as almost like an art piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a little bit of that into Legendary would be all right. A little bit, just a touch.
Yeah, I think my closing thought on it would be to keep interest, they're going to have to
Matt Reeves.
pivot.
There you go.
Oh, well, Matt, yeah.
Well, Matt Reeves is too big for it too.
He could do no wrong.
Oh,
really.
Yeah, Matt Reeves is one of the best.
I mean, what they've given us so far, there's some good and there's some bad, but
I will say about this real quick.
Yeah.
After Godzilla King of the Monsters, heading into Godzilla versus Kong, releasing during the pandemic.
Yes.
While I was hyped, I had no expectation for this.
Yeah.
So the fact that Godzilla versus Kong basically saved movie theaters and then New Empire's making money.
Yeah.
And because of Godzilla versus Kong, there's a spinoff show and there's all these other things. I'm surprised that it's at where it's at.
Yeah.
Even where I didn't have any expectation after King of the Monsters that we would be at the spot we're in.
Right.
So
what do you think this franchise is, though? I mean, it's
Fast and Furious.
Well, now that's what it is now. Yes.
And we want to get it to not be Fast and Furious and be more
we want it to be Fast 5 and not Fast 10.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Dial
that's
it
what
back a little bit.
What Fast 5 was a
good analogy.
Godzilla versus Kong movie with The Rock and Vin Diesel. But
Yeah.
it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Shit somewhat made sense.
Yeah.
You liked the characters.
Yeah.
And you had a big fight at the end, and then you had some epic stuff. Whereas you get to like Fast 10 and they're in space and all the shit, So like, I think you don't need to dial it all the way down to Fast 1.
No.
But you don't. But you want to get to that middle point where it was Fast 5.
That's a good comparison because
that is a pretty apt comparison because it is a silly franchise that people just go to knowing it's going to suck.
Started out realistic about car drag races and then just got cartoony. Same thing here, but I think here you still have a chance to steer away from the Fast 10 and bring it back around. Like it's you got people hooked, you got the kids hooked. I don't know. I feel like you need a solo Godzilla movie, but people love Kong. I love this Kong. He's just like in the last movie, he reminded me of like Bruce Willis from Die Hard. Just I love his personality.
In terms of human characters, like what do you want to see? Like I like the idea of I remember watching like Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla with Kiryu, and the whole thing was centered on the Kiryu team and the people who were developing Kiryu. And they had all these things to wrestle with. They were like creating something using Godzilla's bones and all that other stuff, and who was going to pilot this thing, and when they were in the machine, like they were responding to what it was doing. So that was kind of fun for me to watch. I thought that was kind of a good marriage because it all went with the story. It wasn't like something else and then we're trying to relate it. Was all germane to exactly what was happening. So I think if the story is tied to it like that and it's elegant, I think it's better. Or like Biollante, it had a good human story because the monster came out of a human story. Like the next Biollante came from. Now, do I think that Biollante is the story for them to do next? I think that you need to do Biollante after you get rid of all the other kaiju. Like after like all the kaiju was locked up in the Hollow Earth.
Then this other crazy creature shows up.
And everybody kind of is, everybody's resting on their laurels and they're just kind of like, and all of a sudden some motherfucker's dumb and fucks around with shit and all of a sudden creates Biollante, and that will make it have more weight. If there's just a bunch of other monsters running around all the time, it's not going to be as cool. Like, oh, we got a plant monster. Like, okay.
It's different.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think the human side, I just want it to be, I want the movie to start from their perspective and it be some sort of personal thing where maybe their families got caught up in this, or I'd like to see it where they're going back to the space thing where their families get caught up in this monster invading the Earth, and whether were in space or maybe maybe the aliens were infiltrating and fuck things up because they were here on Earth because they realized that there's giant kaiju here and King Ghidorah got fucking destroyed, and they need to realize what they've been observing and trying to build another case for another monster to come here. But I just want to see that the humans focused on a bit more and taken a little bit more seriously. They can still be there can still be situational humor,
right?
But it doesn't need to be, we don't need Brian Tyree Henry or whatever in this.
No, you don't need podcaster Bernie and Millie Bobby Brown. You want a likable, relatable point of view character.
Well,
I'd rather have Millie Vanilli and Bobby Brown.
Millie Vanilli and Bobby Brown in a Godzilla movie. I would pay lots of money.
That's a great idea
to see that.
Blame it on the rain.
Blame it on the kaiju.
Yeah. But realistically, Monarch would be the first place you would have a character because it's germane to the plot. Like anything that's going on with kaiju, Monarch is going to be there, right?
Yeah. No, and
but we don't really have a cool Monarch character. We have the girl and we have the girl. What's her name?
Which one? Irene, Dr. Hall.
Yeah, Dr. Hall.
She's all right.
And we have Gia.
No, but
they're fine.
But you got Shaw. You got Kurt Russell, Wyatt Russell as
we have Shaw.
Shaw is great, and he's got very personal stakes. And I want more characters like that.
Doesn't he get trapped in the Axis Mundi?
They got rid of Serizawa, and that blows.
Yeah, they shouldn't have got rid of him. He was great. Ken Watanabe was great.
And they got rid of a lot of those characters that could have really given this weight, unfortunately.
So a lot of it is the casting too, right? You need a certain caliber of actor that gives it weight, but whether they're gonna want to do it is another thing.
We'll see.
All right.
Well,
yeah,
they've pretty much thrown out all of the great characters that they've had, or any character that had potential. They killed them off. So
there's too many characters. Well, Legendary, I hope you're listening. We just fixed your whole franchise for you.
I think we just had more of a discussion. Take what you can from there. And
well, I think we made some great points. They got to do something about the Axis Mundi. Yeah. It's that's a major problem. It's overly complicated. They need to get rid of that. They need to stop with the forced humor, and they need to kind of think about what they're doing and stop going. So if you're going to do something like a metal arm on Kong, you got to do a little bit more work to set it up so people can swallow it. It's not that, you face a metal arm for Kong. You can't just go there without people face palming. Yeah. You have to do the work, and you have to make all that stuff more digestible.
Because right now they're writing things to happen just because.
Yeah, you can. Right. There's better ways to get there.
Much better ways to get there. You just need to be a little bit more thoughtful.
And I think that these team ups are going to get tired, and you have to have a break, and you have to maybe do a serious movie like Biollante. Do something where it's man's folly creates another kaiju, or something like that. Maybe someone's got Godzilla's DNA and it's fucking around with it.
Yeah, the metaphor aspect of the whole thing needs to come back a little bit too.
Yeah, you could totally do the metaphor of human beings just grabbing too much for the skies and not. And even with AI, AI could become Jet Jaguar.
That could be
AI could become something
that could be interesting.
You can make a whole statement about a lot of different things. So I don't think the thing is that they're going to be myopic, and they're going to think about what they already have set up and how to keep playing with those same toys. If they want to just shift a little bit and kind of address some of this other stuff, they could probably really make great movies. I don't know if they're going to make great franchise films, but they'll be better movies.
Yeah, good discussion, Ruggs. I like this. I like what you prepared. And
what do you think, Anthony? Agree, disagree?
No, I'm in agreement. I think everything you guys are saying is right in terms of.
Do you think that they know this?
No, but I think what gives me a little bit of pause or what gives me a little bit of hope is the fact that Wingard's not doing this anymore. And
right.
While I've enjoyed some of the stuff Wingard did, it did get very crazy. So the fact that whether Wingard decided to pivot or maybe they decided, who knows? Probably Wingard decided. They have a different voice in there. So we'll see what happens with a different voice.
Yeah, the next one, the date is 2027. March 2027 for the next Godzilla movie.
They should totally not burn Destroyer yet.
Destroyer would be great. Where something
That's when you end it and you hand it off to the next one.
Okay. And then rebirth Godzilla.
Yeah. Give it a new name, new things.
All right. Well, there you go. All right. Solid discussion. I want to finish up with a little, what are we watching? Because I need to discuss the newest episodes of Agatha All Along and the Penguin. You guys caught up on all those?
I am.
Yes.
Okay. Quick thoughts. Agatha All Along, episode 3. You guys warming up to this show? I thought this was a fun episode. They find a house on the road, have to pass their first trial.
They're all getting drunk on wine.
They're all getting drunk on wine that refills itself. A lot of hints alluding to the teen is maybe, in fact, Agatha's son, Nicholas Scratch.
Oh, really?
Mephisto is name dropped. Holy
That's
shit.
right.
Oh, shit.
She said it. Anthony, what'd you think?
I don't particularly like the tone of the show. I think it's still very, I guess TV show-esque.
Desperate Housewives-y.
Yeah,
A little bit.
It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
That said, the show does not offend me, and similar to last week, if you like the show, I think that you're well within your right. I don't think it's a bad show. I actually think it might be okay. Might be pretty solid.
Yeah.
There is some clever stuff with I thought it was funny with their faces. And,
Oh my God, all swollen. That was wild.
yeah,
That was
and,
great.
and then you get to a little bit of a reveal of each
Oh.
character and through that episode, and then it ends on a cliffhanger with one of our favorite characters already dead. So
Yeah.
I do think I'll give the show some credit. It's not for me, but I'll continue to watch it because I have to because I'm a Marvel completist. But it's not for me. But I do think it's surprisingly an okay show, like not offensive at all, and it might be actually a well-made show. So
I should have done this before.
Spoiler alert.
But whatever. Rugs. Comments, reactions to episode 3.
I don't even remember what happened. I watched it begrudgingly.
Yeah.
And it was fine. It held my interest while I was watching it. I was into it at the moment. So, but I don't remember what happened. I just remember they went and they got drunk. They all looked like Joan Rivers for a minute.
You had to make a potion.
And,
remember, they had to do.
They made the potion.
Yeah.
And then what happened after that?
And then Mrs. Hart.
And the lady died.
Oh, they go down the water slide in the oven. It was like a little.
They go down.
Yeah,
They go down there.
they go to the water
She
slide.
goes off the path and she dies. Right?
No, she goes off the path initially and starts to sink, and that's when Agatha's like, "All right, rule number 1: do not go off the path." But
does she die there?
She dies at the end after going through. She gets knocked out because she drank the wine also, and they take her down, and then they're like, "Is everybody okay?" And the teen is like, Mrs. Hart's dead." I'll tell you what I do like. This actual episodic writing of television. I like the arcs these episodes have. I'm kind of digging it. They give you a beginning, a middle, and end, leave you with a cliffhanger. It kind of, there's closure. It's not just leaving you hanging in the middle.
It's TV show writing.
Yes, it's proper TV show writing, which some of the other shows do not have. They feel like it's one long thing and they just cut it in the middle. This is actually thought out to be episodic, which was what WandaVision was. So I think the quality's gone back a little bit to WandaVision. But I don't know. I like the chemistry of these witches. I'm kind of digging this. The sets look also cheap, kind of like on The Acolyte, but it doesn't bother me as much in this because it's like witches on this. I don't know why.
Well, it bothers me a little, but not as much as The Acolyte because The Acolyte is trying to present itself as within the larger, and while this is trying to present themselves as like this epic thing within the Star Wars universe,
right?
That has connections, whereas this is also in the Marvel universe, but it's clearly a little like side story.
It's in no one's expecting this to be anything.
It's in the magical. It's in its own magical realm.
Well, Acolyte has these reveals about the Jedi that are everlasting and make you change the way you thought about the Jedi for all this time. So
And I liked each of them went on a little hallucination trip and faced their demons, and it was interesting what the people saw. Like Agatha saw,
it got a little dark there with the lady getting put, thrown in the sink, and
there was some getting drowned, and there's some jump scares and some horror type things. So they continue to mix a little Wizard of Oz, a little horror. Where is Aubrey Plaza? I thought Aubrey Plaza was going to be Sharon.
No.
Where's Rio?
I like to go to Aubrey Plaza to get my clothing.
There's a great
there's a great shopping center.
My favorite CVS is in the Aubrey Plaza. They lock up everything. You got to ask them to open everything.
You need assistance.
Anthony, have you been to some of these CVSs in the city where they have everything locked up behind glass?
People are stealing.
It's fucking wild. Like everything, like socks, everything.
I haven't seen everything, but I have seen like certain items locked up.
Like unnecessary things. I'm like, why the fuck is everything locked up here? It's kind of weird. But I mean, they're on the witch's road. They've done one trial. They got some more left. Sharon was not a witch, so maybe that's why she died. But
I think people are going to die throughout the rest of the year.
Oh shit! I'm looking forward to the reveal. I'm still like, who's this kid? I want to find out. Where's Rio?
You're clearly the most into it.
I'm digging the Easter eggs and the little looking for things. It's fun. It's fun. Okay, moving on. The Penguin. We got episode 2 spoilers for this one.
Spoiler alert.
Holy shit, is this show good? I rather enjoyed episode 2. Anthony, what'd you think? Take us through a little bit. What happened? And what'd you think of it?
What would you call this? How would you describe this? It's like a game of cat and mouse. Again, basically, Penguin is he's playing both sides.
Yes.
An informant he's playing both sides, but he's getting it's not playing out exactly to his plan.
Nope.
So he's got to think quickly on his feet.
Yep.
To solve situations where, like in the one situation, he's supposed to be in one car for a hit that he's already like set up the Maroni or the Falcones for, but he's in the main car.
He's in the truck with the drops. He told the Maronis to hit this truck. He'll be in the follow car.
Or later on, he's trying to plant the seeds on Vidi.
Yeah.
But his boy gets caught, and the person that was part of this drop thing has been caught, and now he has to like convince him to say something, and then he has to change midway through, and so there's all these different scenarios.
Very Walter White.
A little Breaking Bad, a little Sopranos. I love watching him talk his way out of shit. I love
the overall premise is that he's trying to work his way up, but also manipulate both of these families to think he's just a guy.
Yeah, he's got balls, bro. This is a dangerous game he is playing, trying to play both sides.
Better Call Saul.
I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I think this is already a really awesome show. And just watching Oz in these different scenarios think quickly on his feet is riveting stuff. And I like where the episode ends. I also like, again, you're getting the layers with him and his mom has dementia.
Oh, yeah.
And, he's not this perfect guy, but he's somewhat lovable, but he's also still an asshole. Like he threatens the kid again.
He's a stone cold killer too.
Yeah, murderer. He's got so many layers to him that I'm like, this is great. And the fact again that it's just Colin Farrell playing this guy.
That's amazing.
It's awesome.
I mean, I'd love every episode has like a food thing, and I love this one where he's like, I told you no fucking cilantro, Vic. Fucking pick it out.
You can pick it out one by one.
Start picking. He's like, he's the guy who fucked up the food order. It's so great. And then how he makes Vic go in the grave. And he's like, feel that. You feel that? That's what happens. That's what happens when you can't get things done. Teaches him a little lesson. And Vic feels bad that he couldn't plant the jewels.
Now, who is he on the phone with? When's that going to get revealed? He gets that text from somebody.
Oh.
Which part?
At the beginning. Beginning of the episode, he gets a text, and then he just kind of like ignores it. I don't know who he was.
No, that was the text where she says, that was Falcone's like wife. Or Maroni's like girl.
Oh.
Where they're like, we got to meet now.
Oh,
then he goes,
we need to talk. He goes to
meets
the prison.
Maroni's Farsi woman.
No, this is before that one. He got a text from somebody.
Is that about his mom though? No, that was when they were going to the funeral.
I don't know. Like, let me think. Vic. Let me look this up. Vic.
I think you're referencing the text where he goes and they go. We got to meet now.
Yeah. Then the next scene is him in the prison.
Right.
I love how Sophia Falcone.
No, it's not him in the prison. It's him in that lady's house, and she's like, "They captured our guy."
Oh, right.
And you're in trouble, and you better fucking spit. And then he goes, "Well, I've got these pictures of Vidi and all that shit," and then he's gonna go get him.
Yeah, Graziella, where are you? Are you okay? So let me give you this link here.
Graziella?
The fuck you
because you're not paying attention, motherfucker.
I love that Sophia Falcone can see through all his bullshit, and she can see through anyone's bullshit.
Click that link, and you see there's a text. He gets a text at 2:45. Graziella, where are you? Are you okay?
Oh, Victor gets the text. Isn't that his mom?
I thought that was his mom or his girlfriend. Remember, because his girlfriend calls him in the first episode.
Oh, that's right. It might be his girlfriend. Yeah, that Victor gets the text. That's right. I do remember that, but on
that point, Imran, though, I do love that. It always made me uncomfortable when he keeps like trying to suck up to Sophia.
Yeah.
It seems like he's thinking he can get into her, but then she's always one step ahead. But I like how the episode ends and she's like, all right, let's work together.
Yeah, because he planted the jewel. Him having to change that plan on the fly and stab that dude. And then
not only that, but then accuse Vidi of something.
Yes.
Have them break him up. And as they're breaking up the fight, he plants it on her number one.
Was fantastic on Castillo.
Yeah, and number one.
And then plants I don't know when he put the jewels in that guy's apartment. But yeah, now Sophia's like, all right, we're ready to work. And he fucking, what a fucking sleazy fucking schemer. It's amazing. He's amazing.
Yeah. He's great.
Yeah.
The whole episode I thought was awesome.
Yeah. Him, like, just the moment where, because he knows Sophia pulled in that guy on her own and Luca and Johnny Viti don't know. So he fucking blows up her spot to them to get her in trouble. I was like, that's fucking brilliant. That's so smart.
And they don't know that he knows,
they don't know that
blow it up.
Yes, and she doesn't know that he knows.
Right.
He just needs a hat so he could be Heisenberg.
He's pulling all the strings on the fly.
I even just love the design of him and how he's balding and he has the comb over on top. It's just, he's not a pleasant looking guy at all.
I should start rocking that hairstyle. I'm gonna pattern.
They're already planting seeds though with, the girls that came over and they're like, oh, you killed Al.
Yeah.
You're putting our girls in trouble with this.
She was his alibi. Yeah.
Right.
Putting the girl. She's like, I don't need Sophia Falcone knocking on my door. No, you don't want that. You know what I thought would be funny about this show? What if in like the next season they do a thing where he's so rich and powerful that he gets plastic surgery and then just comes out looking like Colin Farrell normal? Wouldn't that be hilarious? If Colin Farrell's like, I'm done wearing this shit. Can you just write it that I fixed my face? That would be hilarious. But it would be so different because he looks the scar going across his face, the prosthetics, the nose, like, oh man, he is so good. And
hey, if Colin Farrell can't do it, Uncle Tony from down the street will step right in. Looks exactly the same.
Paulie Walnuts up there.
It's a good show.
Fantastic.
Really good show
Holy shit. Yeah. Solid. I can't wait to see
I thought it would be good. It's better though than I thought it would be. Better than expected for me.
Yes, absolutely.
Ruggs, did you like it? I haven't heard. Did you like this show?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, good.
It reminds me of other shows, but I think it's good.
It's pulling from a lot of good things, right? And it's kind of working it in. You forget almost that it's Gotham because it just feels like fucking New York City or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's all over the place in how it presents things because he's supposed to be Italian, the Maroni, but his wife is like, I don't know, Albanian.
Persian, she's speaking Farsi and shit, and he understands.
Yeah, so he's for some reason Oswald is like a master of languages.
Oh, yeah, he speaks Spanish also. Yeah.
Whatever.
Are there a lot of Italians with the last name Cobb?
No,
Cobblepot.
That's got to be some kind of
an Italian name.
But he's clearly Italian.
I mean, he could be Cabroni, but like.
All right. As far as other stuff we've watched, we posted a lot of things on Patreon this week. 4 little movie reviews. Ruggs, what was yours?
I watched Greenland.
Ooh.
And that's a movie with Gerard Butler where the end of the world's coming and he's got to get to a safe underground base with his family, but it's not that easy. There's mayhem everywhere. he's got to fucking do some shit that he's not prepared to do. And there's a lot of moments where it reminds me of the movie Civil War.
Yeah.
That we watched. Not like the Marvel movie, the one about the fucking end of the Civil War in our country.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of that tone. It's very much along those lines.
It's a good movie. I've seen it. I remember thinking it was pretty good.
Yeah, and it does a lot with a little. And it was good. It was just like a good, solid like TV movie, I guess. I think it came out in the theaters, but yeah, it's worth a spin if you want to see that. It unfolds pretty well, and you do feel like the tension and the ticking clock and shit blowing up and being on fire, and you're like, oh, this shit could actually really happen. Like this is pretty realistic. Like, yes, something could hit the earth, and they probably have a contingency plan,
right?
And if you're selected to be one of the people that gets to survive, that's what would happen.
They're going to save the smart people and the scientists, and the fucking the rest of us schmucks are just not going to know what the fuck's happening. That's what would happen. I'm not going to give you my reviews on these things I watched, but if you sign up for Patreon, you could hear my thoughts on a couple of things. That movie Challengers, with Zendaya, in the tennis love triangle. I will say this: it's a sexy movie that has no sex in it.
Oh,
it's modern sexless cinema. I watched Inside Out 2. It's on Disney Plus now. It's fucking great.
That had lots of sex.
That had tons of emotional sex in it. There's emotions. Anxiety is fucking joy. It's crazy. No, that's the porn version. It's Idiot Outie. And then
Inside Out, and then back in again.
Back in again. In and Out too. Oh, that's a different movie. No, that's a fantastic Pixar movie. And then I checked out this 2-part documentary called David Chase. It's called Wise Guys, David Chase and the Sopranos. And it's all about David Chase coming up with the Sopranos, writing it, the casting. And actually, it shows you some of the great moments throughout the show. Of course, they talk about the ending. So it was awesome to see, because I forgot all these awesome things that they brought up. How when people got killed, main characters got killed, is the rape episode, the final episode. And you learn David Chase from Jersey, a lot of these writers put in their own experiences into the show, and they were just writing on the fly. Like now, if you pitch a show, you got to have like a 5-season fucking outline. He just had a pilot. Nobody wanted it. HBO picked it up, and now he's got to write, and just writing one season at a time. That's how you had to do things. That's changed, but
organically.
Yes, but fantastic. If you love The Sopranos, check out this documentary. It's just 2 episodes.
I saw one other thing that I want to mention really quickly. Iron Man 2.
Oh, you watched that again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
Never heard.
Yeah.
What happens in this movie?
Why? Iron Man has to fight a guy who's obsessed with birds, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun to watch. It was actually a fun watch. Yeah. It was better than I remembered it.
Yeah.
And Scarlett Johansson's in it. Yeah, give it a spin if you haven't seen it.
That's the movie that introduces Black Widow, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's a great scene.
I want one. I remember that.
Yeah, I want one of those. That's a great scene. Her intro is great.
I mean, dude, Tony, before Avengers blew up, like Tony Stark was the biggest dickhead on Earth.
Yeah.
I liked him better when he was like that. He becomes boring at the end, but like he's such a fun character to watch.
Mickey Rourke.
So he's just so arrogant and such an asshole, but he still has the weight of the world on his shoulders at the same time. And you don't even know why he's doing that. He's just and Elon Musk is in it. By the way,
I remember that. That's kind of crazy.
He goes to Monaco and Elon Musk is at a table next to him.
Partying.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next week, listener.
What about me, you fuck?
Oh, did you watch? You watch Agatha and the Penguin. Are you going to watch? I bet it's nothing. You got something?
I did. I'm going to review it once I have it done, but I'm watching the Mr. McMahon documentary on Netflix.
I heard about this.
Watched 4 out of the 6 episodes. I don't know that Rug Boy would like it because he has no respect for pro wrestling, but I did grow up watching pro wrestling for a little bit, so I've enjoyed it so far. I think it's pretty riveting. And Imran likes documentaries, so maybe Imran, you would check.
I'm toying with the Ric Flair documentary. I might watch that.
No, I might check out the Vince McMahon one because I've read.
What's curious about it, real quick, is they filmed most of it prior to all the allegations that he's had against him. So it was originally filmed to kind of be one thing, and then all the prostitution, sex stuff came out where he's gotten, he had to resign, and he's under trial right now. And it completely changed the course of the documentary. So
it's not like a fluff piece. Is it more hard hitting and just showing you everything?
Well, I haven't seen all the episodes yet, so I've got 2 more left. But I mean, it does go into some shit on there that happened that if you weren't following wrestling, you'd be like, oh fuck, that's kind of fucked up. That's a little fucked up.
That looks interesting. I want to check it out. I did read the statement he put out on the internet before this show came out saying this is all a lie. It's all fabricated. I don't think he is a fan of this documentary because he can't control the narrative, obviously, probably. Right. But that's why I want to watch it. So, all right, very interesting.
Maybe watch a Diddy documentary.
Is that done? Is that out? Did they add?
There's something out there.
Did they add are the tapes out? Can we watch them?
I don't know.
Everybody's going down. Okay. Next week, listener, here's your homework assignment. We're Joker Folie à Deux, Joker sequel out. This week, the Jukebox musical. I've heard again, it's 63% of Rotten Tomatoes. I saw on Twitter the ending leaked somewhere. People commenting if this is the true ending, it's batshit crazy. Apparently, it's got a fucking wild ending.
Don't tell me.
Yeah, but some of the reviews that are out there are spoiling.
I'm not going to read them.
Spoiling the movie also. So be careful. Don't find out the ending. Let's all experience it all at the same time. But can't wait to see that. Talk about it next week. That's it for this week. Ruggs, where can the people find you online?
Rug Boy Show on X, where me and Elon Musk will be in Monaco hanging out and getting drinks.
Tell Elon
like
I said
Stark.
I said hello. He'll know me.
Yeah.
He'll know.
Yes.
Anthony, where can the listener find you?
I got nothing this week. You'll find me. Ask me next week and I'll come up with something.
You son of a bitch. Find him wherever you find toiletries. No, I don't know. You can find him wherever you find podcasts. That's where you find this podcast. In the meantime, check out the episode description or our website, jockandnerd.com, for links on how to support the show. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
Fuck that show.
I hate the Monday.
What the fuck is going on here?
It's the Monday.
Fuck's sake, man, you amateur.
The amateurish Monday.
Jock and Nerd.